Once upon a time, on a freezing New Year's Eve, the sky was painted in shades of heavy grey. Snow drifted down in slow, soft flakes, covering the city in a blanket of silent white. It weighed down the bare branches of trees, muffling the sound of world. The streets were busy with people hurrying to their warm dinners and waiting families. Laughter spilled from golden doorways, and the scent of roasted goose drifted through the air. But out on the street, the cold ruled everything, sharp and merciless. Down a narrow lane, a small girl walked alone. She wore no hat, no scarf, and her little feet were red and raw from the frozen ground. In her thin apron, she carried a bundle of matches. She had been sent out to sell them, but not a single person had stopped to buy one.
Please. Just one match. Someone must need just one.
People passed by her without seeing her, lost in their own joy. She was afraid to go home. If she returned without any coins, her stepfather would be harsh and cold. Her fingers were so stiff, they felt like ice. Finally, unable to walk any further, she huddled in a corner. She looked at the matches. She was so cold, she thought she might break like a frozen twig. With trembling fingers, she struck a single match against the wall. Scratch! A tiny flame flared to life. It was a bright, warm light, like a small candle. As the girl cupped her hands around it, the cold wall began to fade. In its place, she saw a magnificent iron stove. The fire inside roared with a beautiful heat.
Oh, it's so warm. So wonderful.
But as she reached out to warm her toes, the match flickered and went out. The stove vanished. She was alone in the dark alley again. Quickly, she struck a second match. This time, the light turned the wall into a thin veil. She saw a table filled with steaming potatoes, sweet pastries, and a golden roasted goose. The goose hopped off the dish and waddled toward her, smelling of sage and apples. But just as it reached her, the flame died. The feast was gone. Desperate, she struck a third match. Suddenly, she was sitting under a towering Christmas tree. Thousands of candles glowed like stars. The girl reached up, her heart swelling with wonder. The lights of the tree rose higher and higher, turning into real stars in the night sky. One of them streaked across the heavens, leaving a trail of white light. Someone is dying, that's what grandmother used to say.
A star falls when a soul goes up to God.
She missed her grandmother dearly, the only person who had ever truly loved her. To keep the memory alive, she struck another match. And there, in the bright glow, stood her grandmother. She looked strong, kind, and surrounded by a soft sunrise light.
Grandmother! Oh, please take me with you! Don't go away when the match goes out!
She quickly struck the rest of the matches in the bundle. The alley lit up as bright as day. Her grandmother smiled and pulled the girl into a warm embrace. For the first time, the girl felt no cold, no hunger, and no fear. A voice as soft as the falling snow whispered to her.
Everything will be all right, my dear child. Love is never lost.
But then something miraculous happened. The light did not fade. The glow of the matches caught the eye of a woman passing by. Her name was Martha.
I saw a light. Oh, is someone there?
Martha didn't just walk past. She saw the soul behind the cold. She knelt in the snow and lifted the small girl into her arms. Martha wrapped her thick wool coat around the shivering girl. For the first time, a stranger's hands were not cold, but filled with life.
You're safe now. I'm taking you home. I promise.
The girl leaned into Martha's warmth, feeling a peace she had never known. She was no longer a ghost in the street. She was being found. The girl drifted into a deep, peaceful sleep. When she woke up, she was not in the alley. She was in a soft bed, covered with handmade quilts. The nightmare of the cold was replaced by the smell of home. The smell of hot soup filled the room, warmer than any match could ever be.
Eat slowly, little one. You are home.
In the weeks that followed, Martha cared for the girl's wounds. She fed her body with food and her soul with kindness. The girl watched the fire, but this time, it didn't disappear when a match went out. She learned that hands could be gentle, not just harsh. Slowly, the shadows of the alley began to fade from her eyes. Sometimes, the memories of the cold returned like a ghost. But she was no longer alone in the dark.
It was just a dream. You are here, and you are safe.
Away from this house. He's caused enough trouble for my stepfather already.
Understood. We'll handle it.
She made it official. The girl would never have to return to that life. The girl received her first gift that wasn't meant for selling.
Are these for me? Truly?
Martha had a question that would change everything forever.
I would like to be your guardian, your mother. If you want to stay,
Yes. Please. I want to stay with you forever.
The answer was written in her embrace. From that day on, the girl's life was full of color. She learned that spring always follows the longest winter. She learned to read, discovering worlds she only used to dream of.
The princess touched the glowing flower, and suddenly the whole forest lit up with sparkling colors.
Every meal was a celebration of love and safety. She was no longer the little match girl. She had a name and a home. The glass no longer separated her from warmth. It kept the cold away. They walked the same streets where she once stood unseen. Because she knew what it felt like to be hungry, she was the kindest soul in town. She kept one matchbox, not to sell, but to remember. Every night ended with a kiss instead of a shiver.
good night, my sweet daughter.
Good night, Mother.
Seasons changed, and with them, she grew bright and confident. They shared stories, laughter, and a bond that grew stronger every day. She never forgot the love that had guided her through the snow. Grandmother's love lived on in Martha's heart too. The little match girl was little no more. She was a child of love. A year had passed, and once again, the world prepared to welcome a new beginning. Inside Martha's home, there was no fear of the wind or the dark. Her hands, once frozen, were now busy creating beauty. She remembered the girl she used to be, shivering in the shadows.
What are you thinking about, my dear?
I'm thinking about how one light changed everything.
They didn't just stay inside. They went out to find those who the world had forgotten. She returned to the shadows, but this time she brought the light with her. Because she knew the cold, she became the warmth for others. As the final hours of the year slipped away, they sat together by the hearth. Sometimes on quiet winter nights, the girl would light a single match. Not because she was cold, but because she remembered. She saw the love that had guided her, a light that would never burn out.
Thank you, Grandmother. I am safe. I am loved.
The vision disappeared, but the warmth remained. A mother's love was the real magic that had saved her. Midnight arrived with a burst of light and joy. They celebrated the turning of the year with gratitude in their hearts. She knew with absolute certainty that she would never be alone again. For in every corner of the world, a little kindness can light 1,000 fires. This is the story of a girl who found a home and a woman who found a daughter. Love is the strongest match of all. It burns brighter than any sun and warmer than any stove. And it never, ever goes out. Sleep tight, little ones, for the light